For years, people wondered why Jeffrey Epstein seemed untouchable, why investigations stalled, why prosecutors backed down, why powerful men acted nervous whenever his name came up, and why he walked freely even after dozens of victims came forward. If you want to understand that, you can't just look at the crimes. You have to look at the leverage, the blackmail, the evidence he collected, deliberately, systematically, and with purpose. Because Epstein didn't operate like a criminal trying to stay hidden. He operated like a man who believed he could not be touched. A man who collected insurance policies on the elite. A man who knew secrets and documented them. The blackmail machine wasn't a theory. It existed. And it starts with the safes. When federal agents raided Epstein's Manhattan mansion in 2019, they found several safes. Real safes, heavy vaults filled with items no ordinary trafficker would keep. Inside, investigators found hard drives, CDs, DV tapes, folders labeled with names, photos, documents, financial records, files sorted into categories, materials you keep when you want leverage, not when you want to avoid being caught. One safe alone contained hundreds of CDs and sleeves. Each sleeve had a handwritten label, names, dates, sometimes descriptions. Ask yourself, what kind of trafficker meticulously catalogs compromising material? That's not sloppy, that is deliberate. Victims described Epstein as a man who recorded everything. Cameras in rooms, cameras in hallways, in places nobody would expect. Some testified they saw equipment set up in locations designed for surveillance. Epstein wasn't just committing crimes, he was documenting the people who participated, or the people he wanted leverage over. This isn't speculation. This came from sworn statements, police reports, and seized evidence. Now here's where things get truly disturbing. After Epstein's arrest, the FBI removed these materials, these hard drives, these tapes, documents, got rid of them all. But large portions of the evidence were immediately classified, withheld from victims, from journalists, and from public record. Why? Why classify evidence in a trafficking case? Evidence only gets classified if it implicates individuals or agencies connected to national security, or if the fallout from exposure would destabilize institutions. And remember, even after Epstein's death, investigators admitted that some evidence disappeared in the handoff between agencies. Footage, gone. Hard drives, missing. Logs, never logged. Devices, unaccounted for. This doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens when people with power don't want certain names attached to certain evidence. So let's talk about the temple like building on the island. People joked about it for years, but satellite photos and architectural plans show a structure that appears designed for privacy. Thick insulation, locked doors, reinforced boundaries. Reports from workers described areas of the island they weren't allowed to enter. One former contractor said the inside contained rooms within rooms and strange acoustic insulation, similar to what you'd see in a soundproofing environment, like a music studio or a recording studio. Why soundproof an island in the middle of the ocean? Not for secrecy alone, for recording, for leverage, for control. Multiple victims independent of each other from different years, different countries described being brought into rooms where they felt watched. Some described cameras directly. Some described being photographed. Some said Epstein bragged about having friends in high places who owed him favors. This wasn't just depravity, it was strategy. Blackmail has always been a currency in the intelligence operation community. Compromising material buys protection, access, influence, and silence. Epstein had more compromising material than anyone realized, cataloged, sorted, and it was preserved. And then there's the cleaning crew. Former staff members testified that Epstein demanded rooms be reset quickly after guests left, sheets replaced, services wiped, cameras moved, equipment hidden. The kind of procedure you would expect in an operation, not a private home. Several staff members admitted they signed NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. Some of those NDAs referenced security protocols rather than employment protections. Who writes NDAs like that? Not a private citizen, but someone who knows that exposure would threaten powerful people. Now ask yourself something simple. Why did so many powerful men panic after Epstein's arrest? Why did high-profile figures deny knowing him, despite flight logs, photos, videos, and public records proving otherwise? Why did governments and media outlets rush to clarify past interactions the moment Epstein became a liability? Because the blackmail machine existed. They weren't scared of Epstein. They were scared of what Epstein had. And then there's the biggest question of all. What happened to the tapes? Victims said they existed. Investigators saw the storage. Staff confirmed the setup. The safes showed cataloged evidence. But almost none of the video material has ever been released. None of it has been entered into public discovery. None of it has been handed to victims' attorneys. Some of it vanished, some of it was sealed, some of it was classified, and some of it, according to insiders, was moved off-site before the raid ever happened. What does that tell you? What Epstein had could topple governments. Another said, if those tapes ever saw daylight, half the elite world would retire overnight. That's the blackmail machine, and it's why Epstein was protected for decades. He wasn't just committing crimes, he was collecting insurance policies. The more powerful the client, the more valuable the leverage. The more valuable the leverage, the more protection he received. This is why the surveillance malfunction during Epstein's death is impossible to believe. This is why powerful lawyers negotiated immunity for co-conspirators. This is why entire agencies refuse to release unredacted evidence. Because someone, or multiple someones, understood that what Epstein collected could burn the entire system to the ground. And in episode 8, we're going to answer the question nobody wants to confront. If the tapes existed, if the safes existed, if the leverage existed, then who has it now? Because Epstein is gone, but the blackmail isn't. And whoever controls it has power most people can't imagine. If you want episode 8, hit like, comment truth down below, and subscribe, because the next part isn't about Epstein at all. It's about the people who inherited the leverage. And that's where the story becomes global.